This is going to be I guess, the first class. This is going to be pretty much an introduction, because there might be some people who already practice, some people who already know, and most of these will be exercises as well as Q&A and sharing. And I'm not quite sure how to do that. The fee is $5 a month, and donations, because right now I'm not monetized yet. I don't have my 1,000 subscribers, so this is how I'm going to do it. We're going to do some Q&A. What I can probably, this is the first installment, the first class, and this is going to be just an introduction, of how we're going to do this, because a lot of people just need tutoring. A lot of people just need questions answered. They might be stuck somewhere in their path. Their things that have helped me. I've been studying different arts since 1992. Somewhere around 91 or 92 is when I started studying all these different magical techniques, and it's just a mixture of a lot of different paths. And I believe the most important thing to remember always is that you are the magician, you are the practitioner, and everything in your life is a result of you. Everything in your life, there are times where you will need help, times when you'll ask for help, but a lot of it's skill. In my experience, a lot of magic work is skill. You can learn techniques, you can learn different paths and methods, but a lot of it comes down to skill, knowing yourself, and holding off on making pacts, making contracts, holding off on a lot of things. People hurry into magic, and your motivation, what motivates you to take a magical path. A lot of people are awakening. A lot of people are just becoming aware of these different sensations that they get, these different gnosis, different knowledge that you get when you become aware of the fact that you're a deliberate creator. We're creating all the time. We, by nature, are able to create, but we're not creating the right things. And it takes time. We have to slow down. Like they say, don't drive faster than your angels can fly. And that's what I've learned through trial and error and through experience. Is, yes, there are a lot of different magical paths. Some of them come from King Solomon, come from Wicca, some of them come um, from Haiti, so um, don't interact with other beings until you discover yourself. And it's a long road, and sometimes you need help. It's good to gather together with other practitioners, learn from what they have experienced. And that's pretty much what I'm doing, is sharing with others my experiences as a practitioner, because some people stick to one path and they do fine, but some people like to take from other paths. Some of people like to take from other cultures, because you probably lived many lifetimes and you're probably a practitioner in another lifetime. So be, um, sometimes it's Loa, interacting with Loa. Some of them I'm kind of familiar with, and ancient Greece, ancient Egypt, um, Japanese culture, Chinese culture, and interacting with these different deities, different beings, different spirits, entities. Um, you can start to become familiar with your spirit guides because for me, it's Hermes, Thoth. They're all the same person. They're just called by different names. And I believe there is a big awakening. There's an awakening to being aware of the fact that we are more than our physical body. We are more than just our physical body. We're not just what meets the eye. And becoming more familiar with your subconscious mind is a big player in this. And slowing down, learning more about how to interact with your subconscious mind and what's going on inside you. Because some people take an interest in magic because it's a show of power. It's not only a show of power, but a way to change. And a lot of it's us. It's not entities. It's not gods. It's not um, who you were born as. A lot of it is you. You, and applying the different hermetic principles. That's what's helped me out a lot in magic work is the hermetic principles. You know, there are 7 of them, and we'll kind of touch on each of those principles and how dynamic they are, because they are keys to the universe. If you study the Kabbalion, um, they are keys. Once you understand correspondence, that's a big player in magic is correspondence. You know, um, conformity with the will, because sometimes the universe is already reacting to you, and a lot of it's discipline. A lot of it. We're going to be learning discipline. We're going to learn um, how concentration, intention, and focus, concentration, intention, um, faith. A lot of it's faith, because if you doubt your effectiveness, if you doubt your abilities, then you're going to be weak. You're going to be weak and discouraged. Weakness and being discouraged are probably, sorry, it just now turned 11 o'clock. I got a little early start um, because I think I can be of help to people who are just starting as magicians or people who've been studying for a long time. Because I know, you can go into magic for a few years and still struggle, because a lot of books, they tell you gather these herbs, wait until this time, um, have things that are hard to obtain, and a lot of things, I call it scattered faith. You're scattering your faith because you are the magician, you are the practitioner, you are the operator. And if you have a lot of faith in your wand, if you have a lot of faith in your herbs, then that's displaced. That faith is displaced because you might need to work some magic right away, and you go, oh my God, I don't have my herbs. Oh my God, I don't have a candle, you know. And a lot of that is just to strengthen you, you know, to strengthen your faith, you know, align things, you know. But you're already aligned. You're not in the universe, you are the universe. You're not just in the universe, you are the universe. You are the, you're basically the commander, you know. Think it, you're on a movie set and you're the director. Everything you say is being heard by your staff, you know. So a lot of it's we're going to some of our exercises will be uh, to dissolve doubt, to dissolve fear, to dissolve worry. Because if you worry, you're sending out that vibration to the universe, and the universe is just basically agreeing with you. In my experience, the universe is just agreeing with you. It doesn't hate you, it doesn't love you, it's agreeing with you. Like if you're a boss, you know, you just basically start talking about things and you start doing things and you start believing things, and you're the boss, you know. If you're the boss, they're basically just going to do what you say. If you ever study kings and bosses and princes, you know, there's everything they say have to be followed. All of their, no matter how ridiculous the commands have to be followed. So think of yourself as the commander. You know, if things aren't going well, you just have to slow down and pay attention to your commands, you know, because again, you're neither loved nor hated. The universe just knows your deepest fears, your deepest beliefs, your deepest worries. And if you keep entertaining those worries, if you keep entertaining those fears, that's the vibration you're going to have. And again, the universe just agrees with you. That's all it does. It agrees with you. It doesn't love you or hate you. It doesn't. Uh, you haven't fallen out of favor. It's just agreeing with you, and that's my experience. You know, and so the thing is, you have to delete certain words from your vocabulary because abracadabra means I create as I speak. A lot of people throw around that word abracadabra, you know, when they make fun of magicians. Abracadabra, hocus pocus, you know, and these are actual magic words, and words are very powerful. So always be careful what you're speaking. Always be careful what you're saying, because that's how God created the universe. You know, you read in almost any Bible, it all began with God's words. You know, so we are in the image and likeness of God. Don't forget that. And we are the temple, and the Spirit of God dwells within us. You know, so basically you're it. You know, there are a lot of, you know, I am that I am. I am would be for when you say I am. Anything after I am is your declaration. So don't say I am sick, I am tired, I am afraid, I am worried, because again, the universe just agrees with you and confirms. That's the two big jobs of the universe, is to agree with you and confirm people, and also be in touch with your, we're going to learn that. I'm going to show you some techniques to get you in sync with your subconscious mind, and you'll start to notice changes right away. Once you get worry out of your life, once you get fear out of your life, once you get doubt out of your life, you'll start to notice some changes right away. And you'll start to realize the power you have And the fact that my take on it is God just created the universe and gave us, put us in command, put us in command. Uh, so be careful of the commands you're giving, because I've also heard that we are God in action. We are God in action. If you um, look up, it's an audio book, The Golden Book of Saint Germain, and it's on. If you go to my channel and click on Community, and you scroll down, because it's been on there for a while, The Golden Book of Saint Germain. It talks about the grasping the scepter. Uh, we are very powerful beings, and we have to become aware of what we're saying to our subconscious mind, because you have the actual power, and then you have the gatekeeper. Our limen is the gatekeeper, and our limen, our conscious mind, our monkey mind. We're going to learn techniques about how to get your conscious mind to be better at allowing things. A lot of times we don't have things because we're not allowing them to happen. We are by nature creators. We are creators by nature. We're creating all day, every day. We're just not aware that we are creating. And so that's why we get sick. That's why we have money problems. That's why we have love problems. A lot of times, you're 2 days into college? Okay. Kira, well, thank you for coming. This is a class. This is the first class. You're pretty lucky. You've joined and you're in real time. I'm going to try to do this every day, and every single day you'll be able to go back to these videos. This is going to be a reference. You can take your own notes. You can do your own research and find out what works for you, because a lot of times you need to try different methods. MHM. I'm getting familiar with these acronyms. So this is the first class of Ed's Magic, you know, because we're going to learn together. We're going to basically find out what works and what doesn't work. That's what we're going to find out, because if you're a solitary practitioner, it's good. But it's also good to listen to other practitioners, because you might have some valuable information. And that's what the comments are for. If you discover something, leave it in the comments. You know, because I'm not saying that I am the be all and know all, the great and powerful Oz. I'm just saying that I've experienced some things in my magical interests, and I'm not the kahuna, I'm not the grand and powerful Merlin, but I've experienced some things, and those things had an impact on me. I think the first thing is that you're aware, you're aware that, hey, magic, there's something to it. I did a spell, I did a ceremony, I did a ritual, and I got some effect from it, you know. So that's pretty much, this is an introduction. Maybe tomorrow we'll start doing some exercises. It's very interesting to do these exercises uh, because it's a discipline. You're going to notice some effects right away, and then you're going to notice some gradual effects. You know, like how much more the world conforms. It conforms to you because first of all, you're aware that you are creating all the time. It's our nature. It's in our being, our ability to create. but we're creating the wrong things. We're creating poverty. We're creating, and we recreate, because we just have this slideshow, and we're playing this slideshow of past experiences, and we just keep reliving past experiences. And we're going to go into past lives, because a lot of the reasons why we're hindered in this life is because of things we did in past lives. Maybe we made a pact. Maybe we made an agreement, or maybe we took an oath. Because sometimes, if you get into the priesthood, you have to take a vow of celibacy. You have to take a vow of poverty. So we're going to discover our past lives, and that's what we're going to do in the next few sessions. The next few classes. We're going to be going into meditation. We're going to discover what we were in a past life, and we're going to tell our subconscious mind that that's not happening now. you know because sometimes when we take an oath, when we take a vow, when we make a vow, an oath, there are consequences to it, to breaking that oath. But this is a new lifetime. So in this new lifetime, you have to remind your subconscious mind, this isn't happening right now. They're not going to kill me if I make a little money. They're not going to kill me if I love someone, if I fall in love with someone. I'm not going to suffer consequences because I'm no longer a priest. I'm no longer a nun. I'm no longer part of a coven, you know, because this is a new lifetime. So you can allow yourself to have these things. And it's going to be a battle. We are putting on our armor. I put my armor on, show you how strong I am. We're going to don our armor and we're going to fight these battles together. Because a lot of times there are things in our subconscious mind, doubts and worries and fears. We're going to dissolve those fears and make us better magicians. We're going to be better practitioners because we won't have any hindrances. Because it's all about cause and effect. That's one of the Hermetic principles, cause and effect. For every cause, there's an effect. For every effect, there is a cause. And also vibration. That's another Hermetic principle. We're going to touch on all of those in my classes, and I think it's going to be, we're all going to start rising to the top. The light within us is going to shine brighter because we'll be conquering our fears, our worries, our concerns, and anything that's happened in this lifetime is probably a big hinderer, because in this lifetime, your heart may have been broken, you've established um, a lot of guilt, maybe, or a lot of heartbreak, and that did happen, but it doesn't have to happen all the time. A lot of times we get discouraged because of rejection. We get discouraged because of a failure, but you're just finding out what won't work. Like Thomas Edison, I didn't fail, I found out what won't work. And that's the thing about magic is you must continue, know that magic is real. Magic is something that can change your life, but you must release the trauma. And we're going to do that in some of our meditations. We're going to release trauma. We're going to release doubt. We're going to release fear. And it's going to be an ongoing thing, because some of these things come back. Things actually haunt us. Feelings actually haunt us. Worries actually haunt us because they're established in our subconscious mind. So we're going to become familiar with our subconscious mind and not ignore, because your subconscious mind will warn you about things, will give you a hunch, give you a feeling, that something is not right, and we need to learn how to listen to those signals that we get, because our subconscious mind needs to be worked with, and we're going to learn how to do that. Because I've noticed some big changes in my life once I just started to become aware of my subconscious mind and what has happened, what is happening now, and what probably will happen. Because we only know the future really when it becomes the past, when it becomes the present. So if you're worried about the future, realize that it's all a matter of you. The decisions you make, the things you're told to look out for when you do divination, it's not set in stone what's going to happen. You can allow it to happen if it's beneficial, but there are some little changes you can do that will affect the present. A lot of practitioners, a lot of people that are on spiritual paths, they take that Buddha approach. The past is gone, the future doesn't exist yet, so what you're left with is the present. So uh, acknowledge the present. If you're not hungry right now, if you're not poor right now, then you can relax. A lot of it's relaxing because your energy, you are just energy. They say there is no matter. We are under the impression that there is matter, but it's really just energy. This is a hologram. If you go to my community page, go to my channel, click on community, and you'll see the declassified um, gateway experiment or gateway experience. And it talks about a lot of that, how the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere of the brain is always at work. And what they do in the gateway experiment is they synchronize the left and right hemispheres of the brain. And I believe what's happening is we are becoming more right-brained, because the world was created by left-brained people. There were a lot of left-brained people taking over the world, building empires, creating slavery and jobs, which I think are the same thing. You're being kept alive so that you can work a job. Job means just over broke. That's what somebody told me. One of my Canadian friends, he said, job stands for just over broke. And that's what they do. They could give us a lot more money, but they keep us, they pay us just enough so that we'll keep working. So that's the left brain. The left brain, I believe, is starting to dissolve. The left brain is starting to dissolve because the economies, people are becoming more right brain now, the right side of the brain. The empathy, the compassion, the free time, the imagination, these are all right brained. And I think that in my experience since 2017, the last solar eclipse, I noticed a lot of changes. A lot of changes happened. 2017 was the last lunar eclipse, and I've noticed a lot of changes. It used to be things were pretty dependable. Now things aren't so dependable anymore. You can't depend on your job. You can't depend on your retirement. You can't depend on, so we're being forced to be more creative. We're being forced to, and also to pay attention to things like our subconscious, because we were ignoring our subconscious mind for a long time. Get up, go to work, do your job, enjoy your little vacation, your little holiday, and then go back to work, go back to that same recreation. And that's what we're going to learn how to do, is become deliberate creators. And we're going to have to break free from what we have been doing all of our lives for generations, from father to son, from mother to daughter. You know, get up, go to school, follow your curricula, and learn, and then show up to your job, make other people money while you get paid barely enough to cover your rent and your bills. Things are changing. I feel like a big entrepreneurial spirit. That's what's going to survive. And that's what I'm doing now with these classes. Entrepreneur, you know, and tell others, you know, and we can learn and grow together, learn how to become more right-brained, you know, learn how to adapt, because that's our evolution. That's why we're given two sides of our left hemisphere, our right hemisphere. So that's what this pretty much is an introduction. So this is a class, and I think I scared Kira off. So MHM, I don't know. If anybody knows what MHM means, there's a lot of acronyms that are being thrown around that I'm not familiar with, because I grew up in the 90s. I grew up in the 80s. I don't know acronyms. And so welcome, and so these are some things we're going to be doing. We're going to be learning about ourselves and the commands we're giving to the universe. They are commands. It's like, you're that powerful. So we're going to look at what we want to change. Maybe that will be the homework. What do you want to see different in your life? What things do you want to be able to hold in your hand and touch? Because when we go into our imagination, you'll start to notice whatever you do in your imagination becomes something you could hold in your hand. I've experienced that. And I was doing that different exercises, like meditation. When we go into our imagination, we're going to do a golf ball meditation. It's to start out with. That'll be your first miracle, is manifesting a golf ball, because we're going to go into holding the golf ball in your hand. You can do that before the next class. You could we'll get into a meditative state, and we're going to imagine a golf ball in our right hand. What is it? You'll start to feel the golf ball in your hand after a little while of doing these visualizations, doing these imagination practices, imagination work. You'll start to feel the golf ball in your right hand. The longer we do it, because I've noticed that molecules do start to behave a certain way when you concentrate on it enough. And then what you're going to do is write the date down of your meditation, and then see how long it takes before you're actually holding a golf ball in your hand. And then do it more often, and you'll start to see the time is reduced. The time it takes for you to imagine something and to have it become part of your reality. And a lot of it is, when you're thinking about something, you're manifesting it. When you're thinking about an item, you've already started to create it. Have you noticed that? If you look around your room, if you're sitting in your room, your bedroom, you look at something. Like I'm looking at a puppet right now. I'm looking at this puppet, and I thought of that puppet, and somewhere in the universe, it became an actual object, an actual thing, and I acquired it. You know, I'm looking at this necklace. I thought of this necklace. I saw this necklace or necklace. I saw this necklace. I thought of this necklace of the King Solomon moon pentacle. If I don't get a glare, yeah, I thought of this, and now I'm holding it in my hands. I'm holding it. Oh, a like. Thank you so much. I was wondering. I thought I was just babbling on by myself. So I have. If you have any questions right now, this is an introduction kind of thing. This is class one, and this will be part of the archive. You could always go back to it and track your progress. Put in the comments your progress. Hey, that golf ball, I'm now, and then maybe make a video of you holding that golf ball that you manifested, because these are some exercises, and it'll show, and you'll become more confident in your magical abilities, your magical work. And it'll become so easy because visualizing will be second nature. A lot of magic is visualizing. When you cast a circle, when you call on angels, when you call on your spirit guides, you're imagining that, you're visualizing that, and it is real. It is something that doesn't exist physically. It exists, but it doesn't exist physically. Like the Bible says, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So that's what you're doing. Also, Aleister Crowley, his definition of magic is conformity with will. So you'll be able to do these things at will. We're doing it already. It's in our nature to create things, to make something come from nothing. And like movies, the creator of South Park, the creator of King of the Hill, and that's what we're doing. We're creating, but we're not aware sometimes that we can actually do this. So that's what I'll be teaching. And again, I don't claim to be a kahuna, a grand poobah, a master magician, but together maybe we can start to master these arts, and keep learning more and understanding more. That way we become conscious creators, deliberate creators. Because I've been noticing things like that in my own life, and it's an awakening. This awakening is happening. And a lot of people are becoming more aware, saying, hey, I'll get a book and learn about magic. What is this? What does this symbol mean? What am I saying when I say this? When I say Tatwam Asi, or when I say Soham Akal, what are these words and what do they mean? What effects do they have? Tatwam Asi means I am that I am. Ehya Eshir Ehya means I am that I am. So there we go. We have two different languages that say the same thing. It says I am that I am, or I am. And that's the most powerful words they say that you can say is I am. Everything you start out with, I am. I am healthy. I am well. I am able to heal myself and others. But then again, we have to eradicate, pulverize doubt, because doubt, even the little bit, just like with faith as the size of a mustard seed, as well as a little bit of faith can get you by, a little bit of doubt can kick your ass. A little bit of doubt. So once we see cause and effect in action, I think our faith will start to increase. Cause and effect, vibration, polarity, and duality. All truths are half-truths. There are no absolutes. So these are just things. A lot. If I'm just rambling on, let me know, because this is our introduction. This is what I've learned over the years of taking interest in magic and knowing that it does work. And there's much to be learned and much to be forgotten, Because if we can only forget the BS, if we can only forget the half truths, all truths are half truths. Yes, Jesus can make a hot pocket that's too hot for him to eat, but yes, Jesus can eat that hot pocket because he believes he can. If that, I think that kind of makes sense. One shaman said, "Can't is a positive word." If and someone said, there was a philosopher that said, if one man says something is possible and another man says something is impossible, they're both right, because they both made that decision. They said we'd never fly. They say we didn't even know what electricity was until the 19th century, I think. Or wasn't it the 17th century when Ben Franklin was flying his kite and got shocked, I guess? He did it a couple of times. He was a wacky guy, Ben Franklin. I remember that as a kid, Ben Franklin. That was a picture we always had in our heads. Him flying a kite and trying to conduct lightning strikes. He had a key on a kite or something like that. But that's experimentation. That's what we'll be doing. We're going to write down, we're going to experiment, and we're going to write down our findings. It'll be kind of like science. If you can't repeat it, it isn't science. And it is a form of science because we are keeping our book of shadows. A lot of practitioners have a book of shadows, and this can be your book of shadows, writing down things in the comments or typing in things in the comments. And again, I'm not monetized yet, so I'm trying to raise funds so I'll be able to do what I do. And I'm just asking $5 a month, and it's pretty easy. In the description, you'll be able to click on that link, and you'll be able to donate to Ed's Heart, and it'll be greatly appreciated. So let me know in the comments anything you've experienced yourself. We're just going to do this together. We're going to go into our past lives. We're going to go into this life and just let go of doubt, let go of fear, let go of worry. Because worry and fear and depression, it's just recreating, stop recreating. We're going to learn words that the subconscious mind doesn't respond to. So we're in for a really fun ride. It's going to be fun learning all this together. And so I'm hoping that, I'm pretty sure this is off to a good start because we're here. I have at least one viewer, and so if anyone has any questions, I can do that. We're almost up to an hour. I'll try to make this a 2-hour, 1 to 2 hour class per day and per diem, and we can learn how as we go, we can kind of learn together and show things that I've done that actually worked. Because a lot of times we're shouting out commands to our subconscious mind, and our subconscious mind is just agreeing and confirming. So that's part of reality. If you notice things like that, you start thinking about somebody and then they call you, or you shouldn't do what that person told you to do. Those are signs that your subconscious mind is giving you hints. In dreams, when we have a dream and it's a vivid dream or a lucid dream, we're going to learn that too when we do meditations. When we go into our meditation, it's going to feel like a lucid dream. And then the more vivid you can make it, and you'll learn how to do this over time. When we go into our imagination and walk up to a tree and touch the tree, we're going to actually feel that tree, and we're going to look at the details. That's what Neville Goddard was talking about in his meditations, in his imagination work, is when you imagine something, actually feel what you're imagining. That's what we're going to do first is the golf ball. We're going to imagine a golf ball in our hand. You can do this until tomorrow, just when you're laying back in your bed or sitting down. Just close your eyes and imagine yourself holding a golf ball in your right hand. And you can switch hands too. You'll feel it in your left hand, you'll feel it in your right hand, and it'll become more and more real. The more you do these exercises, it'll become more and more real until you'll actually feel a golf ball in your hand. And what's to say it won't materialize? There are some scenarios I've heard where people can materialize things. And it's that observer effect. Everything is, and that's science too, the Copenhagen experiment. Particles behave according to the viewer, according to the observer. You are the observer, and you'll start to feel, when you start to feel, and then put that in the comments, hey, I began to feel this golf ball in my hand, and then concentrate more on it. Concentrate more and focus your attention on this object you're holding in your hand. Because again, once you feel it in your imagination, so like if you want a car, I've done this before. I mean, I was sitting in a crappy car, an old car, tore up on the inside and out, and I started imagining I was in a better car. In fact, I can do that. I could probably show you the car that I manifested. And these are things that really do work, and it takes some time. And as we do it more and more, it'll become easier and easier, these techniques. It's just a matter of sitting in a room and breathing. Sometimes we forget to breathe. And as we breathe, the more we relax, and you start to become aware of any tension in your body and relax it away. I've done this a couple of times. I'll start to feel tense in my arms or legs or neck, and then you just relax it away until you feel no tension. Then you're no longer aware of your body. You're more aware of what you are doing, because you are more than your physical body. And you'll be able to do more of these exercises. We'll do them together so that we can get a feel of what it's like, and then you can just go and do it on your own. Count out $20 bills. Imagine that you're standing in front of a table, and someone on the other side of the table is counting out $20 bills to you. And again, how vivid. Get yourself a $20 bill and hold it in your hand and study what it looks like. It'll be that much easier to bring it into your imagination when you pick up that $20 bill, take it out of your wallet or whatever, and look at it, study everything about it, what it feels like, what it smells like, what it looks like, and then when you go into your imagination, it'll be that much easier to imagine somebody counting out. Because I've done this too. It's like two different people handed me a stack of $20 bills. Two different people. And it was because I counted out, visualize someone counting out 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. And do that. The more real, the more you get involved in your imagination. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. 20, 40, 60, 80, 200. And so yeah, we'll learn and grow together. This is, again, $5 a month. I don't think that's a lot to ask. $5 a month. And we'll be able to, it'll be a Q&A. And for some of them. So that way we'll be able to track our progress. And I'll try to bring more things, more techniques, like how to make sigils, Sigils is another thing, omitting, write down your intention. After you write down your intention, omit all of the vowels, omit all the consonants that repeat themselves. And then I'll give examples of how to make a sigil, what to do when you have a sigil. I've made one that I'll probably show tomorrow in the next lesson. So I'm hoping to inspire questions. If anybody wants to type in a question, or even because sometimes if we can overcome our doubts, if we can overcome our fears, our worries, it kind of clears our mind. That's what we need to do a lot of times, and I'll show you some. Again, you can find your own techniques. I'm just going to show you some techniques of clearing your mind. I think of my mind as a workspace. You can't have much going on in your workspace, especially dangerous things. If you're feeling disarray, if you're feeling confused, you really need to meditate. You really need to clear your mind. Get to the point where you're feeling relaxed again. That way you've cleared your mind. You've cleared your workspace. Some people call it the mind garden. As you sow, so shall you reap. What's growing in your mind garden? Sometimes you got to pull out some weeds. Sometimes you got to cut down some old dead trees. And then you can have a beautiful mind garden. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. And it's interesting to watch things. Once you got it all squared away in your head space and your heart space, then things go a lot better for you. You don't feel depressed as much. You don't feel stuck as much. You don't feel sad or lonely. And then the way we think, we have to change the way we think. Life doesn't happen to you, it happens because of you. So we have to be careful of what we're doing. A lot of times I've realized I put myself here. Through my actions, I put myself here, So when we start thinking new thoughts, taking new actions, we get a new correspondence going. As within, so without. As above, so below. As below, so above. So within, so without. And never forget that. If you're feeling crappy inside, if you're feeling doubtful inside, it's going to affect your outside life, And that's these things we have to keep repeating, because that's how the subconscious mind works. They say it takes 21 days to change your behavior. So it's going to be a lot of repetition. You're going to hear me say things 3 times. I notice the subconscious mind responds to saying things 3 times. So once we say things 3 times in a calm voice and use our names, because our subconscious listens for our name, it perks up. It'll everything will be white noise until you hear your name. You'll kind of just fade away, start daydreaming until you hear your name. That's when you start paying attention. So what you put around your name and I am, it's going to be an amazing teacher. It's helped a lot of people on their magical paths. See, you perk up when you hear your name. And then what you put after your name, it's just the same as I am. Ed's doing really well, Ed has all the money he ever needs, all the time. That's another thing, is all the time and always. It kind of sets things for past, present, and future when you say, you always. You ever heard somebody say that? You always do that. you always forget your keys, you know. You always misplace your things. So when we say always, I always have money. I always do well. Like Harry Potter, I always knew he would do well. Wasn't that John Cleese's? John Cleese played Nearly Headless Nick. I always knew he would do well, or something like that. So we must, when we talk about ourselves, say always. These are words. Magic words are magic, and writing is magic. Like when someone writes a story, Stephen King, all these authors, they write things and then they become real. J.K. Rowling, go to Universal Studios and you'll see the effect of her writing. Because she probably wrote with intent. She probably wrote from her imagination, because imagination is more important than knowledge. And that's what we'll be doing. We'll be going into our imagination. That's what Einstein said. Imagination is more important than knowledge. He also said if you want smart kids, if you want smart kids, if you want your children to be smart, read them fairy tales. G'day! Welcome to my class, to my rambling, the nonsensical ravings of a lunatic mind. So this is a class of magic and what to do with it and how to do it. We're all going to discover things. So I have a total of 2 people, it looks like, which is a good start. You're back. So here we are. I guess we can, does anyone have questions? Does anybody have concerns? Does anybody want to go for my class? Does anybody want to take my classes? That's all you have to do. I mean, I will be showing you how to speak to your subconscious and how to get the results you want, the results you need. They say 95% of our life is a result of our subconscious mind. There's a lot of things we do. We think we can control ourselves consciously, but that's not the case. We think we can consciously make something happen, like stop drinking, stop smoking, stop saying like so many times. But again, it's our subconscious mind that is causing a lot of havoc in our lives. When we have panic attacks, when we have sleep paralysis, things like that. It's not always us, but it's sometimes us. The dreams we have, it's all our subconscious mind trying to tell us things. And we can keep a little book, take some notes on what did I know before it happened, you know? I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to do that. I knew I shouldn't have trusted him, you know? Write down those things. And that's proof that your subconscious tried to tell you something. Or, why does this always happen to me? Because you keep saying it. Because you're basically giving a command to your subconscious mind. That's what they used to call it, was commands. They used to call it commands. Now they call it suggestions, because it's easier to say suggestions. You know, I'm going to give you some suggestions. They're not suggestions, they're commands. You're giving commands. When somebody is hypnotized, and you know there are ways to find out that, you know, to see if someone is actually hypnotized. Once they're hypnotized, you can give them a command. Watch on YouTube people who are hypnotizing someone. I'll have to give some examples, you know, on my community page. It's amazing to watch somebody who is hypnotized. It's amazing to watch the responses to the commands. Your feet are stuck to the floor. You forget your name, you know. You forget a number. That's how to tell someone is hypnotized. We're being hypnotized right now because Your subconscious mind is always listening to everything that you say and everything other people say. Words are commands. We're going to learn that. We're going to learn written spells, spoken spells. We're going to learn sigils. I think that's what I'll do. We're going to do this together. And then we're going to keep track of what actually happens after we speak a spell. We're speaking spells all day long. As long as you're speaking, you're casting a spell. Yes, we are. Yes, you are. Because we've developed a rapport. That's one thing we're going to learn. Once you know what hypnosis is, you'll start to recognize it when it happens. When someone, I've noticed shouting is a form of hypnosis. When you shout out at people commands or directions, or when you want someone to listen to you, they have no choice but to listen to you when you're shouting at them. Sometimes whisper. I've seen videos of people whispering, and that goes into your everything. What's weird is you can't turn off your ears unless you have hearing aids. But what people are saying around you, what people are saying to you, especially when you hear your name, it's going right into your subconscious mind. So that's why we need to be careful what we are watching, what we're listening to. Don't watch the news, especially if it's something bad happening, because your subconscious takes it in as it's happening to you. Even though it happened on the East Coast, even though it happened in Beirut or Lebanon or Jerusalem, when you watch it, it's like it's happening to you. So be careful of that, because it does pollute you. Everything you hear, everything you see, everything you touch can pollute you. So we need to keep ourselves free of pollutants. The songs we hear, the books we read, it's all going into our subconscious. Have you ever noticed that when you're reading a story, you start to get mental images? Like when I read the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. You guys call it Narnia, but the book was called The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I was actually having mental images of them going into the wardrobe, coming out the other end, and being in Narnia. Or even some people have read Harry Potter, the books. They start to get mental images. And that's what's going into our subconscious. We know what Professor Snape looks like. We know what Hermione looks like, But then when you see the movie, there's a different depiction. That's not what he looked like. That's not what she looked like. Because we're visualizing all the time. So when you tell a story, that's a form of hypnosis. Or when you talk about fleas, when you talk about ants, you start to feel ants on you. You start to feel fleas on you. Or eating a lemon. These are things I've talked about before. If you want to see if someone's able to be hypnotized, start talking about biting into a lemon. And if you watch them shiver, shake, make a puckered face, then you're able to hypnotize that person. Because they call that the suggestibility test. We'll go into that too. I'm going to teach you hypnosis techniques. Because there's nothing better than when you can hypnotize yourself. If you can hypnotize yourself, then you can have a lot of good effects on yourself. You can turn sadness to happiness. You can turn a bad situation into a good situation. And not judge your situation. Don't judge it good or bad. Because sometimes something that seems bad turns out to be all right, Because then again, your subconscious can get locked into something. You can get locked into, oh my God, I just got a ticket. It can ruin your whole day. It could ruin your week, because now you got to show up in court if you want to contest it, or you got to pay the fine or whatever, it can lock you into uh, being stuck. You know, you're stuck in that. And then it becomes something, and then you feed it. You feed it your thought energy. I think that's what I need to get squared away so I can be a better teacher, you know, because I know how my brain works. It's like a pinball machine. All these different thoughts pop up, and I go from thought to thought. So what I'll have to do is write down what I'm going to teach that day. You know, learn how to breathe, learn how to keep breathing, because sometimes we forget to breathe, and to calm ourselves. Because sometimes just thinking a thought will get us all worked up. Because when we're thinking a thought, we're sending signals to our subconscious mind. And those signals are causing our bodies to react. And that's where we get stress, we get panic attacks. So we'll learn how to calm ourselves, to stop the panic attack, to stop the anxiety, stop the craving for another cigarette. Again, that's a subconscious. Focus more on breathing clean air than on smoking a cigarette. You can calm yourself down. You don't need a cigarette to calm yourself down. Again, once you learn these techniques, simply by sitting still and breathing, that puts you into a hypnotic state. Sit still, breathe. Notice how you kind of feel better already. Sit still, breathe, and relax, and be calm. Find something to stare at. Feel yourself going deeper and deeper into your hypnotic state. Enjoy the quiet. Enjoy the silence. Enjoy just being. It's a beautiful day. You have nothing to do. You can feel your heart slowing down a little bit. Feel your muscles relaxing. Let that calmness overwhelm you. That warm relaxation overtaking you. Warm relaxation starting from the top of your head, going all the way down to the tips of your toes. Warm relaxation. You have nothing to do right now except relax. Now you can imagine a butterfly landing on your shoulder. You can feel that butterfly on your shoulder. Is it a yellow butterfly with black trim? Focus on that butterfly for a while. That's just landed on your shoulder. It's moving its wings. Sit still or the butterfly will fly away. The longer you sit still, the longer the butterfly will be there. If you can't see it, just know that it's there. Do you feel the butterfly on your shoulder? Do you know that it's there? That's your subconscious mind reacting to you. Now just sit quietly. Feel the power of your own imagination. You could do it with your eyes opened or closed. If you could learn how to do it with your eyes open, it's even better. Or sometimes with your eyes closed, it's even better. You can get more lost in your imagination. Just sit quietly and breathe and relax and feel those warm waves of relaxation moving throughout your body. Any tension at all, just let it go. Your mind is clear right now. You have no worries, no responsibilities. Everything is taken care of. Everything is all right. 3, 2, 1, wide awake, moving around. Let me know in the comments what you felt. We'll do more of these meditations. We'll do more of this hypnosis. Once you're hypnotized, you'll know what it's like to be hypnotized. And you'll be able to do it to yourself. You'll be able to hypnotize yourself. It doesn't take long. It just takes some listening to the sound of my voice. Let my voice soothe you, calm you, cause you to be at peace, clearing your mind, calming your body, letting go of all tension, all worry, all concerns, and hopefully we'll be able to meet again, become friends, become partners in this thing of ours. And I think it's time to eat. So let me know in the comments what you think of this. I know this was a lot of information, and we will be keeping track of our progress. We'll be doing more progress. And again, $5 whenever you feel like you can. $5 a month. And we will keep doing this. We'll keep doing like Q&A. I think we'll get farther with Q&A. But then again, we're gonna stop at a certain point and do some more hypnosis, self-hypnosis, and meditation, working on our imagination, how powerful our imagination is. We'll be doing some Neville Goddard stuff and some Abraham Hicks stuff so that we can become deliberate creators. And we can always watch this again. You can always watch this a couple of times because you might miss things the first time. And again, this is a class. And I'm sorry to see that everyone left before the end of the class, but you can just watch this over and over and watch the next ones over and over. Watch them before you go to sleep is the best time. Right before you fall asleep, we'll do some sessions. And then you'll keep track of what things appear into your reality and how soon. We'll write down the time we do the exercise, and then we'll write down when the manifestation happened. Visualizing is very powerful in magic work. I think that's the first thing That's the first thing they show you is in magic work. So I got 1 like. I'm going to try to be encouraged by that 1 like. And I guess I'll make a short. Oh, someone's just joining. Hello. I can do this longer. I mean, this is an introduction kind of thing. I did 1 hypnosis exercise and the person left already. So I guess I'm going to pray a lot about the turnout. There was a bit of a turnout here, but they didn't stay for very long. Kira. So Kira and Ahom, I think that's the way to, Ahom. Kira and Ahom were my 2 attendees today. So we'll do more of this, I guess. I might do another class today. Who knows? If try to hit the bell. Try to hit the bell, and that will let me know that people are waiting, because I might not have a class if not enough people are waiting. I'm going to at least have 10 people waiting so that I know that this is wanted. So it's about supply and demand. Supply and demand. If people aren't showing up to my class, there's no reason to have a class. So again, we can learn together. We can learn. So we'll see. It looks like there's 1 person here. This is starting to feel like a telethon more than a class. Hey, do we have a caller? Do we have a caller? Are there any callers today? I've noticed that 1 and a 0. It goes 1 0 1 0. I'm getting some encouragement from some viewers. But again, hit that bell icon to let me know. I guess I'll set up another one for tomorrow, because I noticed I wasn't able to retain any students yet. There's only 2 people that MHM. I'm being hypnotized by you. That's probably why they left. They didn't want that to happen. So anyway, let's think positively. Maybe this will become something. A lot of the stuff I'm talking about you probably already know, but we can start this brainstorm, this support group. Maybe instead of a class, it could be a support group, and then it can go back and forth. A support group and a class. The first part can be the support group, and the last part can be the class, so we can learn and become familiar with our hypnosis part and our spell work. Actually see things happen, scenarios, objects appearing into our reality, getting messages from the spirit world. We could probably go into that. It'll help you with your divination. When you have spirits telling you, you'll start to discover your abilities, your psychic abilities, and hone them, improve on them, use them more often. We'll start to do a lot more things in our imagination. And I'll do the best I can. We'll all do the best we can. That's all we can really do. I don't think we know everything, but we can share what we do know, what we have experienced in our life. So we will, wow, my phone is just buzzing. I guess whenever I get a note, or, wow, I hope it does a lot better than this. I had 2 people who actually spoke. They actually chatted. I wonder if not all these have to be classes. I guess that's what I can turn them into is chats. If I don't get a lot of students, we could at least chat. I guess we could end this one, and hopefully the next one will be a lot better. So here we go. $5 a month? I don't think that's a lot to ask. If I get enough people paying $5 a month, I'll do pretty well. And then I won't have to even worry about money anymore. Money won't even be a thing. I'll be able to have some guests. If I can get some guests to come on, some people who've done their own spell work, who've done their own, have their own habits. So here we are. I will see you probably tomorrow at the same bat time, same bat channel. Let me know when a good time would be for you, because I'm on Eastern Standard Time, and I could probably figure out where you are and what time it is in your area, and I can make this more convenient. 12 o'clock my time, or 11 o'clock my time, is what I find to be good for me. So I guess what I'll do is go eat and then start another stream, and we can talk more. Let me know if I'm dominating too much, because maybe that's what's putting people off. Because I had Whoopi, two people chatted with me. Maybe make it so that you have, because I'm setting aside time. So we'll chat more. Hopefully somebody has some questions or some things that they've experienced. So I guess here we go. I'll be gone now because I got to eat something.